second year that the runoffs have been here at Heartland Park. But the competitors, well, they're going to face a very different layout this year. The track has been changed. It has been improved in some people's mind. Take us around.
Well, they've really changed the racetrack. 2.5 miles around now, 14 corners. Major reconstruction of turn 1 and 2, much faster than it used to be. And back where we used to call it bus stop turn 9, it's opened up as well. What it's done is made the racetrack separate in two different sides. From turn 1 to turn 9, this whole section, very, very fast. On the other side, right through here, very, very twisty. So you got a horsepower end of this racetrack and a handling end.
Well, and the battle is for H production. We talk about how good Tom Feller has been over the years in his Triumph Spitfire, but a lot of different makes have won this class. Really, the Austin Healey Sprite has been the most dominant, but talk about these H production cars. I know you know them well.
Well, this is where I got my start. Difference between this category and others
is seeing yellow when they come to the SCCA National Championships, and I don't mean yellow flags. I mean the yellow Triumph Spitfire of Tom Feller. Feller going for the four-peat, 4 victories in a row at the National Championships, and that is quite a feat. And if anyone is going to steal the crown, it could be Don Barrick in his Volkswagen Scirocco. Barrick, undefeated so far in 2007. He wants to remain that way and steal the crown. And don't count out Chris Christenberry. He won his division. He's faster every time he gets to the racetrack. And if you see a yellow Triumph Spitfire in victory lane, it could just belong to Chris Christenberry. That's 3 of the protagonists in H production. For more, let's go to Dorsey Schrader.
Dan Miller is the Central Division champion, and it's his first year in this Datsun 510. Now, the Datsun 510 has got one of the largest engines in the field at 1,600 cc's. However, it's also one of the biggest cars and the heaviest. Hasn't kept him from winning. He's won 3 times out of 5 races. Now, Matt Brannon was wanting to build a new car for the runoffs and debut it here. Unfortunately, he fell ill. He got the flu, and when it came to crunch time, no time to complete the car. He's back and over-liable. Also out of that same division, Central Division, 3rd place. Ron Bartel's a competitor in H production for a long time. 2-time national champion, both in 2000 and in 01. Well, new engine program here, and he's looking for another championship. He's got 3 wins this year. Which guy will win the national championship will be decided next.
Said behind the Volkswagen pace car, the official pace car of the SCCA now. We'll take a look at the grid. Tom Feller on the pole, Ron Bartel alongside, 2 former national champions. But you see the way the grid lines up, interestingly enough, 8th, 9th, and 10th, Andrew Wright, Matthew Brannon, Thomas Broering, they'll have to start at the back. They did not make the grid. And what about 6th place, Dorsey?
Well, exactly. Chris Christenberry didn't even show up on the racetrack at all, so we don't know what happened. He's one of the guys we picked to possibly win, as was Matthew Brannon. Now, the reason they have to go to the back, there's a 5-minute marker that you got to be on the grid in your position within 5 minutes of the green flag. These guys didn't make it, so they go to the back as we look at some more of them.
Dan Miller rolling off in 11th. He's a divisional champion, as is Mike Cummings, and there's a look at 21st through 25. Now, the skies have something to do with these guys being late to the grid because it is beginning to drizzle a little bit, Chris.
Well, Brian, you look at John Salisbury back in 7th place.
And just take the brunt of it. These are all sprint races, half hour in length, just about, give or take some.
Tom Feller in his Triumph Spitfire trying to do what no one has ever done before, win 4 H production national titles. The green flag waves, and we are racing in H production. Look at Don Barrick on the right in the sedan, the Volkswagen Scirocco. Huge jump. He'll take the lead.
Brian Lynn in the black MG up the inside there. He's having a notion as well.
Oh, look at Feller back down the inside, though, and braking for 1. He gets it, and look at Bartel. What a job by Bartel sweeping around the outside of Barrick. In his white MG, he gets back to 2nd place, and then you see the little black MG right behind him, and then the rest of the field beginning to stream through. This is a great class. When I first started going to SCCA racing, the classes that I paid attention to were the production classes, and F production, G production, E production, they were always the cool cars, and why wouldn't they be? Look at the sprites here. You see the number 34, John Salisbury, leading the pack there. Salisbury coming through, Joel McGinley right behind him, Chris Larson right behind him.
Salisbury's got one of the newer Bug-Eye Sprites. It's only a 62.
Newer. 28 times this class has been won by an Austin Healey Sprite. Salisbury now 7. Look, oh, up the inside into turn 3. The 37, McGinley trying to get it done. Salisbury holding on to the outside. The next corner is a right-hander. He'll have position there. Does he maintain? Yes, indeed he does.
You look at that Fiat X1 right behind him. That's Brannon, who had to start at the back. So watch this car, the 22, really coming up. He had to start at the back because he didn't make that 5-minute cut.
That's pretty impressive. Already up to 9th, so he's gotten a good run. McGinley, the next target for the 22 of Brannon, and Brannon sweeps to the inside. Looks like he's going to get it done side by side. Great racing, and you don't want to bend a lot of parts on these cars. The bodies are hard to fix and come by as well, aren't they, Dorsey? Look at this, great battle.
Yeah, these cars, it gets hard to find pieces for them, so that's a dilemma that they're addressing right now with this new limited preparation engine.
I think it's impressive that we have had 50 different national champions in this class. As I said, 41 decided at the runoffs. The rest decided before we went to a runoffs configuration, but it just shows the strength of this class. And I think really the strength of road racing, this is really kind of where road racing was built, on these little roadsters. Look at Brannon looking up the inside now of the 34. John Salisbury trying to get it done in what we call the autocross section. This is the tighter section of the racetrack underneath the bridge. Coming through the last corner, turn 14 through here. Brannon has it done.
Both drivers gave each other enough room right there to do that. That's very tight.
See what's going on with traffic and who negotiates that better right now.
That's Dan Miller and Matthew Brannon, the two guys I talked about at the beginning, and they're going back and forth for 6th place right now.
More side-by-side action.
Remember, Brannon and the Fiat had to start at the back of the pack. He started for not making the 5-minute rule at the grid. So this is a great drive.
A great drive. Sweeps around the outside and just disappears. Brannon really fast through the 1-2 complex. He made that look easy.
That's where they go across the drag strip, and you see it's about the only place around here that's a little bit on the rough side. You see the cars bottoming around, but Brannon's little Fiat X1 doing a good job right now.
He's able to get past McGinley there in his silver one, and Don Barrick now beginning to come under pressure. Brannon all over the back.
It's a good run again from the back of the pack. Didn't make the 5-minute cutoff for the grid. Starts the back, so Matt Brannon now working the inside with the Fiat.
He had gotten past Don Barrick on the last lap, but since they've come past him on the outside, they're gonna, no, they didn't touch.
That is some good discipline right there, because that would have been an easy place to lay a fender on a guy.
Spectacular stuff. Feller looking up the inside on the way into 3. Nothing doing here. 4 and then 5. A hard braking zone for turn 5. We'll see if Feller can shove it in. Here we go. Heavy braking.
His next best opportunity is off the next couple corners up here in turn 7. Get the run there and carry that little slide. That hurts him. That's going to hurt.
This is where you're talking about, Dorsey. This is where he needs the run off of 6. A climbing turn from here through turn 7. You need to have that perfect run, and he's got a good one. He's already closing the gap.
Yep, now you want to tuck right in that draft, stay right as close as you can, try to make that pop out going into 8-9.
8 and 9. Brian Lynn saying, do not do what you did last time, Brian. You got to get through here cleanly. Remember, this is where Lynn had his problem. It was wide of the apex. He was in the grass, in the dirt at the exit. This time, right on the paint. Right on the track out curve. He's going to stay driver's left. You know he is.
Now here's the block there. You know, had to go for it. You see him looking in the mirror. He's not going to give up that inside.
No way. Now Feller.
Oh, he loses it. He spins the car on his own. He was looking in the rearview mirror and got himself offline.
3 corners from a national championship. Not a mistake all day long. Brian Lynn, his national championship in H production is gone.
Now he's out in the field completely. Look, he just touched his helmet. He said, he knows he threw it away right there.
Tom Feller onto the front straightaway. He will do what no one has done before. 4 national championships in a row in H production. He can coast across the line, and he earned this victory. It wasn't handed to him by any stretch of the imagination.
Well deserved. Yeah. Give me some more. I'm not done with you yet.
That was definitely worth watching again. Feller and Lynn, we talked about them. Ron Bartel with that good run. And what about Matt Brannon? He had to start at the back when he didn't make it out to the grid, and he had a good run all the way up to 5th.
Yeah, normally a run like that.
Yeah, John Salisbury had a great run as well as you look through the second 10. Great battles all around this racetrack. Dwight Aldred, we talked about him back in 19th. It could be his last runoff. And Barrick obviously had some type of a problem. He dropped a lot.